Crypto presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. A dedicated NFT dashboard that evaluates NFT collections and assets by our machine learning algorithm to find the most profitable and secure NFTs across all available blockchains. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics. Take control of crypto today at tokenmetrics.com.
Ian, we cannot hear you. You are on mute.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Not sure what's going on.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. Apologies. Okay, let's restart that all over again.
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Token Metrics Live. I'm Ian Bellina, your host, founder and CEO of Token Metrics, and also general partner at Token Metrics Ventures. All right, so shout outs. Let's see who was first on the stream. We said Steven, what's up? Steven says, get Multiverse. Already have some, bullish on it. Well, not me personally, but our fund does. Trevor says, hey, from the UK, what's up? Huckleberry says, wow, finally got notified. Yes, that is good. Not sure what's going on with YouTube, but definitely make sure you like the video, subscribe, put on alerts, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Not being in crypto is still a financial crime. Yes. The last few months have been pretty bullish. People have been making money in crypto. Is this a dead cat bounce or a bear market rally? I don't think so. I'll tell you why. But hope you guys are making money, whether it was Canto, whether it was some other projects, especially our customers. Let's see here. Sim Africa says, good to be here. Philip says, hi, thanks for the alpha. No problem. Crossfade says, bro, this market is going down. Nothing is going up 100x. All right, so first, let's hop straight into the stream because I think that's a point I really want to rebuff. So pulling up the Token Metrics market indicator, which is a free page anybody can get. You don't have to be logged in. Just go to app.tokenmetrics.com/market. And let's look at this, right? This is our new market indicator. And basically, we've been bullish since January. Then here it turned bearish for like a day or so, based on some macro stuff happening with the Fed, inflation, all that stuff. Then quickly saw that market didn't react, back to bullish. But why I want to tell you, because I'm tired of all these naysayers saying we're not in a bull or bearish market. Because for me, if you're always looking for a flat out bull market, I'm sorry, but you're too late. You'll be by definition buying the top, and we're not waiting for that, right? So looking at this market indicator, bull and bear, we're clearly in a bullish market right now, right? We've gone all the way from being in the low 20s to now being over 80%. When this turned bearish, it dipped, but guess what? Now we're back to a risk-on environment, pedal on the metal, right? Looks like we have some issues with these percentages here, but basically most of the grades are bullish. And then what I really want to showcase, Bitcoin versus altcoin season. We have officially left Bitcoin territory. Bitcoin season is officially over. We're now in this white space looking to potentially go into altcoin season. So if you're waiting for an altcoin season to get in, you'll be buying the top by definition. What you want to do is get in down here and sell, take profits here. Now you basically you want to ride the wave, ride the narrative. And right now, guess what? Since January, returns, because this is what this says, right? The Bitcoin versus altcoin season indicator compares the cumulative returns of altcoins relative to Bitcoin, right? So basically, altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin right now. So you should be in alts, right? Once we came back down here, tested and bounced back, we are now, the money in Bitcoin is not really there, right? Bitcoin is underperforming altcoins right now. Now, if we just go through here and just look at the market, in terms of interesting sectors, we got yield farming, we've got infrastructure, L1s, derivatives. Yeah, most of them are all under 80. Yield farming seems to be doing the best at the moment. And top coins right now, or best performing coins for today, I see Theta Fuel, which is a Theta project, Yearn Finance, Singularity. Looks like people are back into AI narratives. Optimism, up 3%. We'll be covering Optimism and what they've announced with OP Stack and also with Base from Coinbase. Then I see Theta. So Theta twice. Looks like Theta has some kind of news or announcements. Then in terms of worst performers, we got Anchor, Stacks, and all that. Outliers, we see Theta Fuel and AMP. AMP is down a lot in terms of lots of trading volume, but it's down in returns. But something's going on with Theta Fuel. All right, so with that being said, let's go back to the chat and see where we are. Yeah, audio has been fixed, so we're good. All right. Yes, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Landed on the moon in the Lambo. Jose says, happy Friday from Denver, Colorado. Hey, what's up, Jose? Yeah, so I'll actually be in Denver for ETH Denver, which starts next week. So if anybody's in ETH Denver, let me know. The Tokenmetrics team or Tokenmetrics Ventures team will be around. And if you are building a great project in the crypto space, let us know. We definitely invest in crypto, and we're looking to invest. All right, so let's hop into what's happening with Coinbase. Is Coinbase going to usher in a whole new bull run? All right, so the news is from Coinbase, introducing Base. TLDR, Base is a secure, low-cost, developer-friendly Ethereum L2 built to bring the next billion users to Web3. Start building on the Base testnet today and stay tuned for the upcoming mainnet launch. So this was announced yesterday. And if you go to base.org as a website, but basically, what exactly they're doing? Now, I'm not a Ethereum developer, but from my understanding from reading this and just what I've heard on, read on Twitter and from doing my research, Coinbase was initially working on an EIP proposal, an Ethereum improvement proposal, and on that proposal, they were looking to basically reduce gas fees by over 10x on the Ethereum blockchain to basically achieve their corporate objectives of getting crypto mainstream to over 1 billion users. Now, as they were doing this, Optimism was also working on this with them, right? They're basically collaborating together, and they got to really fall in love with Optimism and the technology, and it kind of fit their narrative. But anyway, basically, Optimism has what is called, to my understanding, the OP stack, which is basically a bunch of modules, or kind of like their principles, or it's a tech stack that makes it easy for anybody to launch their own layer 2 blockchain. So for me, this immediately made me think, okay, this sounds kind of like Cosmos. How Cosmos has the whole IBC, inter-blockchain communication, whatever it's called, and basically how you can have other blockchains talking to each other. So it made me think, okay, is Optimism trying to be the next Cosmos, which is basically become the internet of blockchains, the internet of L2s? And I think they are. Now, they probably will word this differently, but that's what the OP stack is. It basically allows developers to build their own layer 2 blockchains on the Ethereum blockchain using basically modules. Let me see if I can find, and they call theirs the super chain. Yeah, so is this coming across? Yeah, so basically you kind of have this, right? You have data availability layer, Ethereum. This was the proposal I was talking about. Then you have sequencing layer, which is Optimism. Then you have basically rollups, the Ethereum EVM, and all this stuff. So they're now kind of bringing into the lexicon what they call superchain, and they're calling this through one of the products they launched called Bedrock. I don't want to get too technical with all this, actually, so I don't want to pull that up. But basically, superchains is kind of the equivalent, although I know the devs will kill me or not like this, but to make it easier for non-techies, think of superchains as kind of Cosmos version, their version of connecting other L2s together. So anyway, back to Base. So Coinbase is basically using the OP stack to build their own layer 2. It's an Ethereum-based L2, kind of like Polygon, kind of like Arbitrum, and kind of like Optimism, except it's their own blockchain. Now, we've seen lots of exchanges create their own blockchains. Obviously, there's Binance with BNB Chain. I know OKX has one. I think Huobi and KeyCoin, but almost all of them haven't done well except for BNB Chain, Binance Chain. But now we have Coinbase creating their own blockchain. So this is a game changer. However, there is no token as of yet. And I think in the future they could potentially do a token. But what I'm thinking is they're waiting for clarity from regulators in the US before ever issuing a token. So for now, I don't expect there to be a token. But let's say the SEC comes out and gives us a framework for issuing cryptocurrencies and tokens that are not securities, then I think Coinbase could definitely issue a token and really compete with Binance BNB Chain, right? So what's in this for Coinbase? Why is Coinbase creating their own layer 2? Well, they can make a lot of revenue without a token, right? And first of all, look at the ecosystem. They have lots of different blue chip projects in the DeFi space and Ethereum ecosystem building on them. But what I want to get into is basically, if we go back here, give me 1 second. Yes, okay, so apologies, I'm just kind of jumping around here. So basically we have Ethereum as the layer 1, then you have all these other chains, and you basically have this Optimism bridge and this cross-chain messaging protocol, right? So this could be basically Base. Anybody could go out there now using the OP stack and basically this principle, the stack, and very quickly build their own OP chain. And all these can then talk to each other. So that's why I said, to me, this sounds like it now competes with Polkadot. It now competes with Cosmos, with Avalanche subnets, but it's just their own version as L2 chains. Also kind of competes maybe slightly with Polygon. I think Polygon has some other stuff, but okay, that's way too much. Let me go back. I think this is what I was looking for. All right, so, well, actually, let me first go back to Optimism. Right, so why is Optimism open sourcing their code and letting Coinbase launch their own blockchain, basically kind of almost like forking Optimism? Because they're trying to create this internet of L2s, and all these. My initial understanding of this in the last 1 day or so is that Optimism will be running the sequencing layer, and by doing that, they'll be earning a lot of fees. So all these other blockchains, right? All these OP chains basically will be, for example, using the Optimism bridge, and they'll be making a lot of revenue from this. And my understanding is lots of these blockchains make a lot of revenue as well from running their own blockchains. Now, for example, I believe Binance makes over $1 million a day with their blockchain, just from transaction fees. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's basically, they're making over $300 million a year. So imagine if Coinbase launches their own blockchain, the transaction fees they can make from that blockchain. Coinbase has over 100 million users. Let me just double check that real quick to make sure I'm getting that right. Coinbase. number of users. Yes, so 103 million users. Actually, the website says 110 million verified users. So they're trying to create a top of the funnel ecosystem where Coinbase users or customers or people who trade on or invest on Coinbase could have a off ramp into DeFi or maybe on ramp into DeFi. And as opposed to going to Ethereum that has lots of transaction fees, they want them to go onto their own blockchain, the base blockchain, and they'll be getting those transaction fees. So take like Ethereum or Arbitrum or Optimism, all those transaction fees they're earning, and Coinbase can make that money. So imagine if Coinbase makes over $1 million a year. Over $1 million a day. They could potentially be making over 300 million a year just from running their own base blockchain and those transaction fees. I mean, that is incredible, right? Now, I don't have any plans to go out there and invest in Coinbase, their stock, but I think it's good for the ecosystem that we can get more people into blockchain. And I think the base blockchain will be, in my opinion, a better blockchain than the BNB blockchain, just I think all around the board, right? But now the question is, okay, how do you trade this or make money off of this? Obviously, there's no token for Base at the moment, but a lot of blue chip projects are building on Base, and I think Base could become one of the top L2s because right now I think the top L2s have been Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, and BNB. So I think once you add Base in there, I could see this really becoming. I mean, Base could really become number one. I mean, Base could really compete with Ethereum. I think because Coinbase has the bandwidth, the user base, over 100 users. So in my opinion, now people have some concerns about this being a KYC chain. I mean, I don't have too much to say about that, but definitely worth keeping an eye on that. But I think what's an even bigger picture is now Optimism. I mean, this is a big endorsement from Coinbase. And if this narrative plays out where the future of development on L2s gravitates or coalesces towards Optimism, because now they have this OP stack where anybody can launch their own blockchain. I've been reading stories about people launching like a Minecraft or Pokemon chain. Like it's that easy. So this, I think, now begins to compete with Cosmos and Polkadot. Why go on Polkadot? We have to get a parent chain when you can just go on Optimism and do your own OP chain. Why go to Cosmos and do an app chain when you can just go to Optimism and do your own OP chain? Obviously, there could be some other requirements, like I think people have been mentioning security. But I think if you can stay in the Ethereum ecosystem, that's definitely worth considering. But if we now go to Optimism on Tokenmetrics, our platform, you haven't signed up for this, I highly encourage you to. Just go to tokenmetrics.com. We're basically an AI and crypto-driven research site. So data and analytics for crypto. We have ratings, indices, and all that. So long-term Optimism, investor grade, 70%. It is up 9%, so it has been moving. Currently has 660 million market cap, but FTV, which is a metric I like to look at, over 13 billion. And the supply is very low, right? Because this is why I've always said this has been kind of like an insider coin or a VC coin. Looking at this though, technology is good. Fundamentals are decent, but the valuation, the FTV is relatively high. It has the same FTV as like Solana and other projects. If we, like for instance, if we go to FTV here, why is EdgeCoin here? Looks like somebody's pumping something here. Has a higher FTV than Bitcoin. That's ridiculous. Yeah, so based on FTV, there are, I'm going to ignore this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11th in FTV. So, I mean, same FTV as basically Avalanche and Filecoin. I mean, even OKX is blockchain. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Okay, so from FTV perspective, it's somewhat overvalued. If you go purely on market cap, is it going to be on here? Optimism? It might not. Actually, it is 77th in market cap. All right, so if they do a 10x from here, it's going to be what? Actually, no, I'm sorry. Wrong number. 10x from this number, right? 6 billion, 6.6 billion. That would put them like top 15 market cap. Okay, then let's look at their vesting schedules, the token unlock. Because if you're going to if you're going to trade it, let's see what Trader Grade says. So actually, Trader Grade is bullish on Optimism. Wow. Okay, so maybe short term this is a trade, but let's take a look. What I like to do is I like to look for Trader Grade over 80%. Check. A bullish signal. So this actually turned bullish back on January, what, 5th or 6th? At $1. It was about $1. So it's done at 3x already. But let's look at Sortino ratio over 4. Oh, wow. So I like to look for Sortino ratio over 2. 1 is good, 2 is great. So the fact you have this and that, you have 3 points of confluence, makes me say, okay, you know what, maybe this is a good trade. So actually, if you're going to trade this, how would we trade this? It's currently at $3.01. All right, so these are our automated levels. So we said what, $3.01. This is a new all-time high? Oh, wow, this is an all-time high for Optimism. Interesting news. We're in new territory over here. Okay, so we've got, let's say, support at 250. So let me actually pull up TradingView. All right, so we're gonna add a new coin. Let me go to. Okay, so we said Optimism. Let's use Coinbase. Pun intended. All right, so we got Optimism. Then let me take off all these things, this text here. All right, so this is actually the token metrics trading indicator that anybody can get access to. You can just, if you're a customer, just go to token metrics and get access to it. But basically, this pulls in our kind of framework and applies it on TradingView directly if you're a trader. So looking at this, so basically, this TradingView indicator went long on January 7th. So basically, green is bearish. I'm sorry, bullish. Right, this green is bullish and red is bearish, right? So even this has done pretty well. But let me configure this to make sure it's right. I have it on long-term strategy because I have the daily candle. Then I'm just going to put in order size 100, permitting 1, so it's just one large order. All right, so let's see how we could potentially trade this. Okay, so let me just add this here. Okay, all right, so currently it's at $3, 3.08. If we say entry of what? Let's say like, let's put 315 for now. All right, so going back to token details page, if we had a stop at 250, risk to reward ratio of 0.069. I want something over 3. All right, so according to this, if we enter at 315 with a stop loss at 250 and take profit of 511, so 511 would be the target. Now, typically, I would look to see if there is any resistance and to take profit for 1, 2, 3. But because this is at an all-time high, I think that's what I would be using. So basically, I wouldn't actually use this for the take profit because we're in new territory. I would just have a stop loss at 250. And then I would use a trading view indicator, and I would just basically hodl until this turns bearish, right? Until it says short. When it says short, then I would sell and take profits. So that's basically how I would trade that. So I'm actually probably going to put in this trade today. But yeah, that's kind of my take on optimism. Let me check the chat and just kind of see what people are saying. Moses says, hi from Sao Paulo. Hey, what's up? Obrigado. Obrigado. All right, let's see here. Hey, Ian, I don't see webinar recording for Feb 23rd in the portal. It was shared on private alerts. It should be there. If not, reach out to support@tokenmetrics.com. TM platform code the bottom end of December. Interesting. Well, I think if you don't really want to be looking for a pure bottom, for me, I just look for bullish, bearish trends. Risk on, risk off. Because if you're looking, like, the whole concept of a bottom to me is just not stupid, but it's horrible. Because you want to know whether you should have your foot on the pedal, meaning gas on the pedal going fast. Maybe you want to be riskier. So for me, when it's bullish, it's risk on. When it's bearish, it's risk off. Right? So this new indicator, for example, right? Like here is risk off. When it's risk off, I'm looking to take profits, looking to maybe go to stable coins, but I'm still in the market. I'm still looking for alpha because there's always a bull market somewhere, right? Because if you're completely out, you'll miss it, right? If you come back here, yeah, it's good, but maybe the alpha was buying back here, maybe even back over here, right? Because there's always a bull market somewhere. So for me, like right now, right, like this tells me now's the time to be in altcoins. Altcoins are now overperforming versus Bitcoin. Jose says, yay, I want to picks with you, buddy. I will see you in Denver. That's what's up. What's your outlook for Atom? Is it a hold or buy? Outlook for Atom. Right now, Atom is just, I think they're working on improving their tokenomics, but the value is not really accruing to Atom. That's kind of the issue people have had. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm actually going to put in a trade for Optimism. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Just give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to okay, so I'm going to get Optimism at we said, let me go back to trading view, to the tokenmetrics trading view indicator. All right, so we said it's, yeah, I think anything under like 310, 315 kind of depends. It's basically below, I want to say below 315 with a stop loss of, I would say 250 based on the levels, but that can always be managed or updated. And Yeah, so working on that. All right, so let me go back so I can see you guys. Ian, you were bearish on OP, now bullish? LOL. Well, this is a trade. This is not a long-term investment. Right, so if we go back, right, this is, you have to be flexible with the market, right? It's not about being right or wrong. What I'm saying here, trading this, right, makes sense, right? Based on this now being over 80%, right? Because this has gone up over 5% in the last 1 day, which is bullish. This trends indicator is also bullish. Plus, it has a pretty good Sortino ratio, right? So this is a pretty high performing signal. So for trading this, yes, I would definitely trade this. Plus, you have a huge fundamental catalyst, the OP stack. And so you have 4 plus 5 with the token metrics trading view indicator also being bullish. So for trading this, yes, because when you trade it, this is basically a swing trade. I don't have to hold this for the long term. For the long term, I would wait for the investor grade to be over 80%. And preferably, I would want to have more tokens in the market. But let's actually look at this, if we can find Optimism, the token unlock. Yeah, so 73% of the tokens are locked. Let's see the vesting schedule. So this is today. Today we're at what? About 1.2 billion tokens. Is that correct? Am I reading this right? Hold on. Let me see what the total supply is. About 4.3 billion. All right. Yeah. So it's going to take about until 2026. So 3 years for the rest of the tokens to unlock. Okay. So when will half of the tokens hit the market? Nah, I don't want all that. Hold on. Just give me. This thing's getting in the way. All right. So what, January 17th, 2024? So in 1 year, more than half the tokens will be liquid. All right. So I think in 1 year, it would have way better tokenomics. But right now, I think you basically have to trade this. Yeah. So based off of that, I think I would trade it, but I would not fall in love with it. Right now, it's basically that. Let me check the chat here. Let's see here. Yes, I did lose weight. I've been working out. The key is basically intermittent fasting, keto, running, strength training, and just basically biohacking and longevity. I've kind of fallen in love with it. Deborn says, the point of Coinbase wanting revenue makes sense. All revenue right now is mainly from fees. Yeah, I mean, they'll make a killing. They can make over $100 million a year just from revenue. And that would help their stock. Right? This thing what Binance is doing, let me see if I can find how much. Actually, let's say Arbitrum. Let me do Dune Analytics. Maybe Dune could help us find this. Arbitrum revenue. I'll just say layer 2. let me see if we can find some dashboards that show how much money all these L2s are making. Yeah, because Optimism has about 40K active wallets versus Arbitrum's 136K. Okay, so transaction fees, weekly revenue, right? So this is in ETH. Today's what? Today's 24th. So they don't have the 24th one. They have the 20th. So transaction revenue, 557. So let me just do some quick math real quick. So we got this times 557. So almost $900,000 they did on the 20th of this month in transaction revenue. This is Arbitrum, not Optimism. And then imagine Coinbase doing their own blockchain. And I see here they made a killing. And then cumulative revenue. Let's see here. So Arbitrum revenue. Revenue is in this context means how much the Arbitrum network gains from a difference in transaction fees paid by the user and the estimated cost of posting call data to the Ethereum L1. This revenue is then usually paid to L2 nodes for computation and storage costs, which are impossible to include in this calculation. So if we're looking at cumulative revenue, hold on, so let's just take this number, right? If they're doing this a day times 365, if they keep this up, obviously we anticipate Arbitrum will have more adoption over time, but they'll be making over 300 million a year. This is Arbitrum. So now let's go to Optimism. Okay, the numbers are not as good. Looks like most of the revenue happened when people were getting their airdrop early on. But what is this? L2 gas rate, because all this is priced in ETH. I wish it wasn't priced in USDC. It will be easier. All right. I think total revenue is 5 ETH. Is that correct? Then cumulative. Actually, no. Yeah. So total. Let's use total revenue 5 ETH. That times 5. So only they're making money right now. They made $80,000 times 365. So about 3 million a year. But obviously now, if you bring in the OP chain, which I mentioned earlier from this stack, right? All these other blockchains, guess what? The Optimism will be getting a portion of those fees. So with Coinbase, with Base, you have Coinbase will be making a killing, and part of that money will flow back to Optimism because they'll be using Optimism for their sequencer, is my understanding, right? If I have that right. All right, okay, so let's look and see if we can find any other charts that are better. Okay, that didn't really help. Let me check this other one. Okay, this is Ethereum layer 2 stats, Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, Starknet. So this has some other L2s in it. Actually, let me go to where's active. Total, do they have active wallets? Okay, active depositors, 25,000. Is that equivalent to active wallets? Because they have 136,000. So okay, because Optimism here has a lot more depositors. But if you notice here, this happened in the last 24 hours. Actually, yeah, versus, yeah, so people are flooding to Optimism. I mean, funds are flowing. Okay, that's definitely a good insight. ZK Sync 8400, 3100 for StarkNet. Okay, but I'm not seeing daily bridge. If funds are flowing to Optimism, I would see it on these other charts. Which chart am I looking at? This is okay. Let me look at some specific charts just for Optimism. Okay, protocol metrics. Okay, so Optimism in the last 30 days, you save almost 150x in gas fees. Approximate on-chain value 2.5, about 2,584 million, so that's 2.5 billion. Okay, over 20,000 transactions in the last 30 days. Let's see. Okay, transaction fees earned per day on L2. Okay, so this is maybe what I was looking for. All right, so this makes more sense. So yesterday, it made 85 ETH in transaction fees. So going back to our math, ETH is basically almost 1,600 at 85. So 135,000 they made yesterday times 365. So almost 50 million if they keep up the space. But the average in the last 30 days was about 37 ETH. But I think if they can really get adoption in all these projects and the base revenue, that's going to be huge, in my opinion. So I mean, definitely, I think after a year, Optimism is definitely one to watch, right? Based on token unlock, right? So if we go down here, and they're still doing an airdrop. Where was it? Yeah, this, right? Over half the tokens will be liquid within a year, which is good. But yeah, I mean, so I think based off of this, I mean, for now, I'm going to do a trade. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm over here trying to get some trades filled. And we were using, and price has actually gone down here. Basically, the trading view indicator. Yeah, so I would just trade this. I would just basically go long and wait for this to go short. That would be one signal. And then wait for the trader grade to go bearish. And that would be the other signal. So when both of those are bearish, time to take profits. And that's how I'm going to play the trade. Imagine Coinbase doing an airdrop to OP holders, so it's Christie. Yeah, I mean, that'll be good. Manager says Coinbase has 100 million accounts, but 10 million users. LOL. Yes, Optimism is on Coinbase, I believe. Yeah, Coinbase. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't make sense if they're partnered with Coinbase and not be on Coinbase. Dark mode. Somebody wants dark mode. Actually, I don't really use dark mode, but we do have dark mode for those who wanna. If you're watching this on a bright screen. Love Luster says, BK Crypto is looking forward to doing a meetup with you. It would be so great to say thank you in person for changing so many lives. Yeah, definitely. Just reach out. I think I reached out to you guys, or you guys reached out to me via Twitter. I think I gave you my email. Okay. Yummy says, why use Base instead of Arbitrum or OP though? Good question. So why use Base? So Coinbase, I think you're basically getting exposure to the Base ecosystem and the power of Coinbase, basically. That's not what I want. You're basically getting the power and the backing of Coinbase, essentially, right? Kind of like how projects were building on Binance Chain. But I think that's what's happening with Base and Coinbase. But now, why use that as opposed to Arbitrum? Well, I think you're comparing the difference between Arbitrum and Optimism. Right now, Arbitrum does have a lot more adoption, right? So if we go to DeFi Llama and go to chains, and we go to EVM, right? So looking at TVL, Ethereum has 28 billion. I always ignore Tron. Binance also kind of the same thing, because basically you have a bunch of whales kind of controlling. Because look at this, they only have 16 protocols, right? So it's very centralized, to say the least. Basically, Team Justin. Binance Smart Chain has 4.8 billion with 546 protocols on it. Arbitrum has 2 or 3 protocols with 1.89 billion. Polygon 1.15 billion with 372 protocols. Avalanche 285 with 947 million. Optimism 900 million with 104 protocols. Yeah, so Arbitrum definitely has almost 2x, over 2x the TVL of Optimism, and over 2x the number of protocols. But now when you add Base will be part of the Optimism stack, or part of their, basically this whole internet thing they're creating, super chains. I think you're basically getting into that ecosystem. I think we'll have a multi L2 world, kind of like the whole multi-chain world. But now Optimism is becoming the de facto standard for anybody building on Ethereum, I think, with their backing from Coinbase. Let's see here. How to access this TM indicator? You become a customer. So you sign up at tokenmetrics.com. And then you just go here. And then you go here, click that link, and then it will just give you a form to enter your TradingView account, and we'll send you that as an invite-only script. It's automated. So if I go to TradingView, basically you go to indicators, and it'll be under invite-only scripts, and you basically have all that. Or you can even just go to the help section, should have it. So if we go help.tokenmetrics, TradingView indicator. Yeah, we got tutorials on how to configure everything. All right, so basically you go here, where it says username, you add. Yeah, so just follow these instructions, and you'll have it. And this, I think it's pretty cool. You can kind of use our tech on TradingView directly, right? For those of you who trade. Now, with TradingView, we can't bring in our own data. That's kind of a limitation with PineScript. So we're only using price action. But based on this, this basically kind of, it's pretty straightforward, right? When it's green, you go long. When it's red, you short or take profits. Or it's short with care. All right, well, I do have to wrap things up and go, but hopefully that's been helpful. Let me see here, last question. If we want an alert for bearish trader grade, what percentage do we use on the TM platform? So what I use is, I would come here, I would do add to watch list, right? technical indicator alerts. Sorry, I would say Telegram, technical indicator alerts. And basically, when I'll get an alert on Telegram when it changes from bearish to bullish and vice versa. Or in this case, from bullish to bearish. And then I also like trader grade, so I'm actually going to add this. So it's currently at 81. So let's say if it drops 3%, let me do what? 2%? It drops 2%. It will be under 80. So it will also give me an alert. So I'll basically get 2 alerts for trader grade and one for the signal. And that would also help, right? Then you can also add alerts on TradingView itself. But yeah, I mean, if you want to learn more, definitely go sign up at tokenmetrics.com. We have 1 week free trial. Tell us what you think. Maybe use that to trade Optimism. Keep up with it. Keep up with the trade. But with that being said, hope you all have a good weekend. And until next time.
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
The moon is the limit. Actually, no, not the limit. Not the limit. I'm sorry. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Take care. Bye.